Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Wake and Bass. I'm caught on my headphone cord. How are y'all doing today? It's been a trying week for me, but I'm here, and I got most of the studio set up here. I got some extra stools. Maybe we'll see some kitty cats floating around. But that's enough preamble. What is up, everybody? Good morning, happy Thursday, wherever you are, morning, evening, afternoon. I hope it's going well for you. Today, we got a fun one for you. We got Junko Ohashi, very, very well-known, wonderful city pop artist who, unfortunately, has recently left our astral plane to go on to the great city pop plane. I'm tired. It's been a long week. I've been doing a lot of stuff. Anyway, I'm glad to be here. I hope y'all are glad to be here. We're going to say a very kind thank you to Masayoshi Takanaka and Patrice Rushin for the intro music, and we're going to say goodbye right there. And we're going to jump into the chat and say good morning to everybody and see who's here before we jump on over and see what's going on with Junko. So, Bobby, good morning, my man. How's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. A game legend. Let's go. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Good to see you this morning. Okay, Anna, cat and a coffee. What else do you need? Wonderful. Wonderful. And Alexa, yeah. Good morning, Alexis. And yes, R.I.P. Junko Ohashi. So for those of you who don't know, Junko Ohashi has been around. Let's see here if I can look up her birthday. I want to say she was born in the 60s. Oh, born 1950. On the dot. She recently passed away about 3 weeks ago, and she passed away from esophageal cancer. And she had been battling that and breast cancer for several years. Is a super trooper. She was battling this during COVID, and came right after COVID, came out swinging and started doing live shows again and playing before her health failed again. But she is just a powerhouse, one of these artists, up there in our pantheon of great city pop artists who has double-digit solo albums. What we're going to be listening to today is one of her most well-known compilation albums, not only for the music, but for the aesthetics. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But really, really great album, and one of the earliest connections that I have to city pop. So way back in the day, the original connection was Yurie Kokubu. I heard this song called Taxi Man. Wonderful song, got me interested. Like, what is this city pop stuff? What? Huh? And then the next song I heard was Telephone by Junko Ohashi. That, I will 56709. That song. We'll hear it later. But yeah, amazing artist and not a one-trick pony. Very all over the place, versatile, lots of good talent, and not only for herself, but for her group too. Also a really, really good group. So, without further ado, let's get jumping in to what we're doing today. There we go. So, Junko Ohashi, as I mentioned here, born 1950, passed away November 9th. Wow, that was about a month ago. Man, time flies. So, one interesting thing that I always find doing these Wikipedia searches, especially when you go to the Japanese page, so this is the American, English, British, English, whatever you want to call it, Wikipedia page, and there's Junko right there, looking great. R.I.P. About a page. You switch over to the Japanese Wikipedia. Okay, now we're rolling. We got a lot of good stuff. What I think is so funny, every Japanese Wikipedia always has their blood type. Her blood type is A. Like, why do we need to know that? Is this just for all these fan people who are like, okay, what if I run up on a car accident and I see Junko Ohashi bleeding out and she's like, I need blood, and then passes out and doesn't tell me what kind of blood? I can be like, I have the right blood. Phew. I don't get it. I don't get that connection of fandom. Weird side note for Waking Base. You can tell I'm tired. All right, so let's listen to our first track here. And as I'm getting that rolling, let's just take a look real quick at what we're listening to today. So this is 1984, Magical. So here's the iconic cover of this album. We've got a very beautiful picture of the Twin Towers in New York City. We got that also from the back, on the back side there. And then we've got this. Somebody took the time to take the side picture of the album. Thank you. Then we've got all the inserts. Now, one of the reasons we've got so much info on this album here is because it is highly collectible, super, super coveted, and my head is exactly in the way. But if you could look and see the statistics right here, it says that we've got 222 people have it, 2,818 people want it, and what you can't see a little bit more to the right here, and let me see if I can just switch that. Nope, hold on. I'll get there, y'all. There it is, look at that. So the lowest it was sold for, according to Discogs, is $165. The high was $1,086. That is too much money for a record. I love my records. I got two Jackie Chan original records that I paid too much money for. I did not pay $1,000 for them. But what we got here, like I said, 1984, it's mostly a collection of 3 previous albums. The 3 previous albums being Point Zero from 1983, so right before this, Postcard Fantasy, 1982, and then T for Tears, 1981. So from my research, these are the 3 albums primarily that we're going to be pulling from today. And so as we look through here, we'll see that we have credits and stuff, engineers, recording remixing artists, engineers. But we're going to be looking at, oh no, I clicked out of it. We're going to be looking at these original albums, where they came from, to look at the musicians and all that stuff. And we're going to see some interesting connections to multiple different studios, multiple different artists, across multiple different decades. So it should be fun. Okay, enough yammering from me. Let's listen to Isn't It Magic, the first track off of this album, compilation album, and actually an original for this album. It was recorded just for this. So, let's take a listen here. Okay, some nice detuned flutes there. Oh, thank you, Bobby. He's telling me blood types are a kind of horoscope in Japan. That makes much more sense. Thank you. Like cosmic health chicks who use signs to judge people. Oh, Bobby, thank you. That's waking me up. Thank you, buddy. Hey, what's up, Murano? My pleasure. You have a request? Throw it in the comments there. See if I can't get to it for you. Thank you for all the love. Oh, yeah. You got that soft snare. You know we're getting sensitive. Oh. So Alexis is talking about having a copy of the reissue. We're going to talk about that too. Congratulations. The reissue looks really, really nice. Okay, so this first song is a duet between Junko Ohashi and this guy, Yoshinori Manta. No idea who this guy is. Man, that guy's got some falsetto. It's so breathy. I'm being a jerk. I'm sorry. It sounds good. It sounds good. It's just... it's not a natural voice. There you go. That's better. Who is this guy? It's okay. So, I love Junko's voice here. Got kind of this generic kind of almost like a TV soundtrack kind of sound. And now that I say that and think about it, when I was reading on her Wikipedia, that was one of her early things, I believe, is that she did a theme song for a TV show. There we go. In 1978, Twilight My Love was used as the theme song for the TBS drama Shishi no Gotoku. Became a huge hit for her. So, this to me sounds like a Japanese version of the Cheers intro, kind of. It just kind of has all those. Here's a perfect example. Let's do a Alex 6501 rewind here. We're gonna hear this nice little keyboard, melody, dun 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 bum bum bum, and you're gonna hear these real intense chord changes. That's very common. That building tension forward and then to release it all immediately. Okay, now I am not sure if this is just a weird rip of this track that had all that wobble, but can we appreciate what this is? I don't know what that was, but that was our first track right there. Isn't it magic? So Junko Ohashi featuring Yoshinori Monta. No idea who that cat is. I'm going to check the chat here for just a second to see if anybody knows who that is at all. Let's see. Top comment. Maybe that's why he's not that well known. Truth. Whenever you're, doing a duet with somebody, you got to be careful who you're doing a duet with. Because if you pick somebody like Junko Ohashi, who's going to knock it out of the park that hard, it doesn't do you any favors. It's like, I'm not trying to go out there and play bass duets with Thundercat and Flea. I'm not trying to destroy my life like that. So, first track, and as I said, this was the one that was specifically recorded for this album. So again, 1984. Mentioned a little bit earlier that she had written a theme song in 1978 for TBS drama. This kind of sounds like that to me. A little bit of that kind of drama TV intro thing. So enough of that. Let's move on to something else here. Second track is Perfume. One of my absolute favorite Junko Ohashi songs. It's getting me going right there from the intro. And then this bass line. That needs to be louder. This song is why she'll be queen forever. Love those little hoo-hoo-hoos in the background. Those drums? Sweet bass solo, here we go. The drums and the bass absolutely destroy in the song. It's so good. Okay, now how do you spell perfume in Japanese? I know it's audio somewhere. It's one of these. It's this. Let's see. I was wrong. Who's gonna get it first? I know, dude. Murano, if you've never heard this song's amazing. It's so good. find it. I'm gonna figure it out. Everyone's watching me right now like, Alex, you idiot. Wrong one, wrong one. Yeah, it is available on Spotify. Pick it up. Yeah, you just gotta let this one play, baby. Oh my God. Oh man, so good, man. Again, this video is gonna get taken down by YouTube immediately after this is put up because I'm just gonna let these songs play without talking over it because it's just so good. But listen, at the end, we had all these sick parts between the bass and the drums, awesome like filler sound with the guitar, great solo, beautiful singing, everything's coming together, arrangement, and then at the end, they throw in a new section because the bass player and drummer were like, we had one more tasty groove that we couldn't fit into the song, but it's just so groovy. Let's throw it in the last 10 seconds. Wait for it. So it's like, all right, that disco. And then they're like, all right, funk it, Greg. These guys are so good. And that's where we're taking our first stop to jump in here and start looking at some of these musicians, some of these artists, figure out what the heck is going on. So somebody was asking here if Perfume, if this song was available on Spotify. Yes, it is. And I would be using Spotify here, but since I'm a YouTube baby, you know me, I want YouTube shorts, none of that TikTok stuff. Side note, I heard a insult for some kids was, some kid said to another little kid, I bet you watch YouTube shorts. And the kid was like, oh. And I was over here going, oh, I watch a lot of YouTube shorts. So they were asking if you can go on Spotify. Yes, all of this is on Spotify. It's amazing. Here's the song. I was trying to find the title of it so I could look up and see exactly where it came from, what album, and I found that it was from this album right here, Postcard Fantasy. So looking at this one right here, I was like, all right, well, let's figure out who is playing that sweet, sweet, tasty bass. Oh my goodness, it's our man, Abraham Laboriel. We have seen this cat around before. Look at that, a Yamaha baby. What a surprise to see a Yamaha sponsored artist playing on citypop albums. Very common. So we've seen him around quite a bit. I'm trying to think of what would be the thing that we've seen him most recently on, because I know that he did a Takanaka album, and I know that he did, see, there we go, Sexy Dance. So he did Takanaka. Oh, did he do Saturday Night Fever? That's pretty cool. He was on Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. That's always a good plug for oneself. Okay, Kazumi Watanabe. Great player right there. Really, really good. And then who's playing drums here? Ricky Lawson. Well, we got a couple drummers here. And we've also got another guitarist I want to talk about here, Paul Jones Jr. What? He was in the Brothers Johnson? Well, that makes all the sense in the world. Was he seriously in the Brothers Johnson? No way. Because that would be beyond insane. The Brothers Johnson are a phenomenal funk group. Wow. I recognize some of these. Oh, he did the barge. Oh, there's Junko. Very interesting. Rockwell, somebody's watching me. Oh, that's pretty good. There's a little connection there to some Halloween stuff. All right, last person I want to talk about, that sweet, tasty guitar solo that we had in there was Paul Jackson Jr. I think I said Paul Jones earlier, thinking of Led Zeppelin. Paul Jackson Jr. is an amazing guitarist. I already opened up his thing over on another tab here. I'll jump to in a second. This cat, been rocking, rolling for a long time. He was on Daft Punk's Random Access Memories. People have heard me talk about this album before. Daft Punk, electronic group, as y'all know. However, their final album was not so much a album by them as much as it was, we want to create the greatest studio group of all time. And they went through all their albums that they loved listening to as kids and made the perfect band for them. And one of the members of the band was Paul Jackson Jr. And he wrote a lot of the music on Random Access Memories, this album that I have right here. I love this thing. Got the original vinyl, so the reason I'm pulling this out, it's got that sweet insert. It's so cool. Reason I'm pulling this out is twofold. One, to flex a little bit because I don't have very many nice things, and this is one of the things that I treasure. But also to talk about why these albums get so expensive and so rare and all that kind of good stuff. So before I go into all that, I'm going to prepare a little bit, and we're going to listen to the next song, which is A Love Affair. And I believe this is also from that same album. Let's see here. Maybe not. Sounded good. Yeah, this is from Point Zero. It's a love affair. Slapping. Ooh. Ooh, those horns. Ooh. I've never heard this. J-pop and city pop are massive rabbit holes. Yes. Man, this is awesome. Just hold tight. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Love that. I love those hits. What is that? What is that sound? I need more of that. What was that? That is the... I need more, man. That's so funky and fast. And it's still happening in the background. Ah, those horns? Dude, I'm vibing too hard. I'm about to break something over here. Damn. So good. good. So good. I love it. I'm afraid to turn it down because I'm going to miss that dope sound again. Man, this is awesome. She's an amazing vocalist. Lyrics, we're going to talk about that in a second. Super good, very interesting, awesome harmonies. But man, the music, the arrangement, the playing is amazing. We got a little guest. He's saying it's playtime. He doesn't understand. It's Junko time, Bubba. Junko. Where are you going? Are you gonna sit on my mouse? Okay. Fantastic. 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 So good. So good. Tenchi, I can't read my screen because you're standing in front of it. It's my cat. Okay, so talking a little bit here about the lyrics, since of course I do not speak Japanese. I should probably learn at this point. But a hallmark of both city pop songs and just in general, I would say Asian pop music of the 80s, late 70s, that kind of thing, is very common to insert English words. Either names or like a shout chorus, something like that. And this is a wonderful, perfect example right here. It's a love affair, then singing some lyrics. Love affair, lyrics. Hold me tight, lyrics. And it just kind of throws in these random, what seem like random American or English phrases to say, but it is not only a stylized, purposeful choice, but it's a good hook. We do the same. It's the same thing all over the world, where you will have choruses, verses, things like that make zero sense, but they're fun to sing. They're fun to shout. Stuff like that. A really tongue-in-cheek, a good example is Blues Traveler, The Hook. If you listen to that song, two things are funny about it. One, the lyrics are a joke. Everything in the lyrics, the guy is saying like, I don't mean what I say, but I'm singing with inflection, and the whole song's about how the song means nothing. And then the music itself is Pachelbel's canon. It's the most overdone bum 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 bum. It's just a circle of fifths progression that moves down. And they were going, look, it's like, we know how to manipulate your musical emotions. If you're not paying attention, you'll be like, oh, this song is so epic. But then when you really pay attention, you're like, oh, you're kind of making fun of the fact that I like this song. So that's kind of an extreme example here, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. Now, whoa, we got something in the chat here. Whoa now. Late Night Alum, thank you so much. Alex, long time no see, brother. Saying hello from the great state of Minnesota and Lake Minnetonka. Oh yeah, keeping it fresh with Prince up there. Rest in peace, homie. Keep up the great work. R.I.P. Junko. Thank you so much, Late Night Alum. Thank you. Very much appreciated. Oh, and then I see up there we got Murano. When I lost my mind over that auto wah sound, that womp 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 womp. That was a cool sound. Let's just go back for just a few seconds and listen to that, because this is like, I really feel like this is a sound, if people had heard that more, it would be all over samples. Where is it? It's so fat and funky. And I know it's probably some Yamaha preset of some kind, but man, that thing is fat and funky. So this album right here, this was recorded in New York. I was clicking up on here to try to figure out, like, where was this? And as we can barely see over here on this section right here, we can see that it was recorded at Celebration Recording Studio, 45th Street, New York, New York. And then it was mixed at Boogie Hotel Recording Studios, also in New York, 1983. So We've talked about this in the past of having city pop artists hop over the pond, go to either LA or to New York to do some recording, and this is an example of one of our New York recording sessions. As we look down here, though, see an interesting connection for anybody. Everyone works for Yamaha. We got Yamaha represented engineers, musicians. Let's just look up what this G52 is. I'm going to guess that's a Yamaha keyboard. Let's see here. Oh, look at that. It is a mini grand piano. There it is. So that's what we got going on here, is a New York Yamaha produced type of sound. But look at that boogie, city pop, disco, funk. I'm hearing the disco, I'm hearing the funk. And we're already 30 minutes in. I'm not even halfway through, man. I'm just like fanboying hard over Junko. Okay, we're going to do one more song, I Love You. Another fantastic song. And then we're going to talk about some of the mythos of why this album specifically is so rare, so coveted. But first, more of that sick bass and drum combo. Ooh. It's like Sunset City. Yeah, Reiko Takahashi. Murano, you know what's up. That's it. It sounds like she's saying Fruity Cootie Days, and then at one point it sounds like I Love You, Jerry. We're gonna find it. And then you get this sweet part. A little bit of synth flutes. See if we can figure this out. I'm meeting you at tonight's concert, even though I brought along some courage. I'm just smoking a cigarette, the tobacco turned to ash, gazing at you. Looking back, I realize I need you so. Listen, I need you so. That's a good line. All right. Lyric genius coming through. I didn't know they had this. Oh, this is a great thing right here. Look at this. Oh. Hair standing up on edge. Let's go back for a second. This is a sweet harmony because she is not hitting a consonant interval. She's hitting like seconds or like a sixth or something weird way up high. Listen to this. That was a weird harmony, and she just locked it in. So good. So good. Very cool lyrics, too. Yeah, that transition from voice to sax is amazing. I'll run to you and hug you tight. Listen, I need you so with all my heart. There it is. Fruity Murite. It sounds like Fruity Cootie. Give Me Another Chance. There's also a super sweet bass lick right at the end of this.
I need you so,
oh, they're saving it. There it is. So good, man. And here comes a little bass tastiness. Man, she's awesome. Oh, she's so good. Junko Ohashi, I Love You So. So that was our fourth track here off of our compilation, Magical from 1984. Unbelievable. She's really hit the jackpot there as far as fusion of things go. Because whenever you have an artist, as you all know, everybody here in the channel knows, whoo, everything just freaked out. Am I still online? Okay, cool. As we all know, if you were Junko Ohashi, you didn't do everything. You didn't play every instrument. You didn't record everything yourself. You didn't do all the things. You're part of a team. You may be the front woman, the voice, but you've got core people that are going to be always playing your instruments or an idea or a arranger, producer, all those kinds of things. So there's always, many pieces that come together. With this, she has really hit some very interesting studio musician groups. Because if we look through the 3 albums that are used to put this compilation together, we've got Point Zero, which was 1983. This is the one that was recorded all in New York. So this is all New York studio musicians. The only person in here that is a continuous thread is Kin Sato, her husband. So they got married in 1979, and they are still married until she passed away. But that's the only connection here. So he was the producer, but all of these musicians were in-house. So then we go to our next album here, Postcard Fantasy, or actually we're going back in time now. This is a year previous. Similar but different. We've got studio musicians again, but now from a different side. Let's look and see where this was done. 'Cause I'm going to guess that this is LA, just from these musicians. Mixing studios, conductors, engineer. Boom! Paramount Studios, Lighthouse Studios of California. There it is. So this is an example of that East Coast versus West Coast sound. So when we were listening here, that sick guitar solo and just all that awesome funkiness that we had in Perfume was West Coast. What we just heard with I Love You So and A Love Affair was East Coast. So they had similar sounds, similar feels, but it's different. And I think that the West Coast is a little bit more funky disco. It's a little bit more in your face, and the East Coast is a little more jazzy. Has a little bit more of those chords, a little bit more of those interesting harmonies, more difficult to do harmonies, but they're more satisfying. Those interesting crunchy tones that we got in there. So, very, very cool. Now, I've been teasing getting into what this album, why it's so coveted, and we'll do that here in a second after we listen to one more song. What's up? Whoa! What is... I've never heard this. What is this? Oh! That broke me again. Ow! Yes! What was that line? That's amazing! That's amazing. Is this my new favorite song? Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, this is so good. This is awesome. And these strings, they sound so good. Man, where did this originally come? I have to know more. Let's see what we got in here on the chats. Ooh, what the Korean movie's called? No, I don't. They sound like the most harmonious banshees ever from WoW. Oh, such a Santana enter. You nailed it. Yes, it does have that Carlos Santana just cutting in. What? Okay, Alexis is dropping some knowledge. So, I Love You So is inspired by What You're Gonna Do For Me by Shaka Khan? I'd have to look into that. Let's check it out. Man, that guitar solo is amazing. Okay, I gotta figure out who wrote this song. Or like, who is playing on this song? Lost Love. This is just amazing. What is it, 1982? You're not gonna give me any love on that one? See if I can figure this out. Lost Love. Oh yeah, that soundtrack. That guitar, not that soundtrack. Golly, man. That's gotta be Paul Jackson Jr. Oh, man. One more time. Ah, that sound. That cutting in, that just silence to the wail. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So cool. I'm just like blown away. So cool. So that was Lost Love A5. Where was that done? So these are all produced by Ken Sato. Yeah. This is just like remix stuff. Can't find from where originally it came from. I have just got to guess that this came off of this album, Postcard Fantasy. Let's see what it says here. Perfume. Bam. Lost Love is from, okay, so this is from Postcard Fantasy. Yeah. It sounded like Paul Jackson Jr. It just shredded so hard it had to be him. Or Carlos Rios. This is another cat that we have seen around in our city pop before, and he shreds. I'm trying to remember, where did we see him? He played on Chevy Chase's album. That's not great. Toshiki Katamatsu, that's who it is. We Can Fly to the Sun. So he did Toshiki. Who else? He wasn't part of. I'm trying to think of what he was a part of. Anyway, really cool song. Unbelievably cool song, though. And Alexis dropped in there, but it sounds like we may have an inspiration from Shaka Khan, which I'm always into. She says, I'm not sure if it's actually inspired or sampled, but there's some similarities. There's no denying people were listening to other people's stuff and getting ideas and, you know, in the best cases paying homage and in the worst ripping off a line. I don't think this is the case. However, if we want to talk about ripping off a line, we can talk about Jackie Chan. This is Tonight and a certain 1993 Chicago house group that totally stole his song. We can talk about that another time. It does happen. But let's jump into why this record is so ding-dong expensive. I mentioned it earlier how this can sell, and this was an article written in October 12th, 2020 by a guy named Van Pogum. I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong. So this is a internationally acclaimed DJ, but he writes articles. He's had stuff put in apparently CNN and the Hong Kong news. But he wrote this article on his website, vonpogum.com, and he's talking about this album and why on earth is this one particular album worth so much money. And it's an interesting read. It's just like a couple minutes. But the main thing that I thought was interesting and a good point is it was this fusion of really good album with aesthetics. So you've got this perfect storm of an album that is very representative of a genre that people like, city pop. This is one of those iconic albums. You've got a really, really nice piece of artwork. This cover is wonderfully shot, and just from a aesthetics, photography point of view, really nicely centered. The color scheme looks great, and then on the reverse side, the background, the night shot is really, really beautiful. It's just a great shot. It looks really, really nice. You mix that with the music, with the rarity, and it's just the perfect storm where everybody really wanted to have a copy of this. And it was not, there were not a ton of them put out, and the people who had them didn't think they were anything that special. So when this guy put this out here, it said that the highest was 1,063. Let's see what we got now. 1,086. You can't see it. It's just right off screen here. But this metric is right over here. It shows me. So it has, even since this article has come out, has gone up a little bit more money. But people really, really like it. And it brings up the question then, well, is this just for nostalgia purposes, or does it really sound better? What's the difference? And the example that I like to use is, I don't know. Let me see if I can find a better. Somebody had written it down here as far as, if you listen to the highest quality music through really crappy $10 headphones, it doesn't matter. It's the whole thing put together. You need to have good source material, so a record or FLAC, flawless loss audio, or you need to have some really high quality media. Then you need to have a processor, a receiver of some kind, and then you need to have nice speakers, and those speakers need to have all the right frequency response, ranges. They need to have the tweeters, they need to have the subs, they need to have the mids. All these different sizes of cones to produce these frequencies. Otherwise, you're not going to hear stuff. The example that I like to use to test if your gear is good and really makes sense and you can hear everything, people will use what's called a frequency sweep, where it goes through the whole range, or not the whole range, but a big frequency range, so you can hear how your speakers, headphones, all that respond. I mentioned earlier Daft Punk, Random Access Memories. There's a song on there called Giorgio by Moroder. Giorgio Moroder, wonderful synth artist, vocalist, worked with Donna Summer and just a bunch of artists at that time. Did the synthesizer mode, or did the sequenced mode, that putting a metronome to it. At the end of this song, they do a frequency sweep, and we'll listen to it right now. I cannot explain to you how different it sounds on record. It's so deeper, fuller, and it has nothing to do with it just sounds better. No, it sounds different. But the low end, right at the end of this, when it goes pom 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 pom, that sound coming through big, good speakers on a record, it almost shakes the needle off the record because it's such an intense low sound. But this is one of these things that I'm a weird guy, but that legit might be one of my favorite sounds on planet Earth. Dead serious. I love that, like, listening to it, because in the middle we lost, like, there's some bass, but right there you're losing all that middle. But if you listen to it on the record, the intensity of volume keeps pushing forward. It's hard to explain, but that would be the closest that I can come to explaining what's the difference between a record and digital media. It doesn't matter. It's what comes through the speakers. It's how your gear is set up. That was the only example that I can think of where a vinyl sounds different than what it sounds like on a digital recording. So now, if you don't want to pay $500, you can just pay $60 and you can get the repress, which is by all accounts essentially the same thing. Sometimes you can get bad represses if they do a cheap repress, but these are nice. The people who do these represses put a lot of money into them, and they get good copies. Okay, let's jump in and see what we got here on the chat here. What would Beethoven steal? Beethoven? I mean, back then there wasn't any copyright, so it was more like you heard it and then you're like, I'll take that. Beethoven did a lot of theme and variation things, theme and variation on other people's music. Haydn, previous artists. The same stuff we're doing today, we've been doing for hundreds of years. People covering other people's music, people riffing off other people's music, taking a theme. In fact, I'm sure Beethoven has a composition on, themes based on Haydn, things like that. So that's what he would take. What else we got here? See here, creatively borrowing the flavor from other songs. Yeah. 1080, I'll take 2 of them. Yeah, just like, do you have a TI version? Exactly. Just like graphics cards. Yep, Giorgio Moroder's amazing. Oh, okay. Sergio, that's a good list of people. I'm digging it. Mozart with the first music thief. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, Sade, smooth operator on vinyl, so much better than on CD. It happens. Sometimes the vinyl pressings are better than the CD masters. It happens. Now, what's this guy right in front of me, this random dude looking at a record? This is just something I thought was crazy. This guy, Arthur B. Langton, he could look at records, look at them, look at the grooves, and he could tell you what was going on. He could tell you what piece it was. And this was for 2 reasons. 1, he had nothing better to do except look at records. 2, actually 3 parts. Second thing, these are all classical music records. Why is that important? Dynamics. Dynamic range is absolute lifeblood of classical music, and in pop music we get a lot of compression. What compression does is it lowers some of the loud, but it raises some of the quiet, and it makes everything exist right here. So when you're listening to it later on playback, everything is the same relative volume. On classical music, no. You're gonna have your volume set at 7, and you can barely hear the pianissimo of the strings, and then at the fortissimo, it's gonna blow out your speakers because it's gonna be so loud. So he can look at the record and tell you what you're listening to. Pretty gnarly skill, but pretty cool. Okay, we're almost an hour in, and on the last track of side 1. This might have to be a 2-parter, everybody, because this is just too good of an album to stroll through quickly. But let's listen to Tasogare, our last track of our first side of Magical. Ooh, nice keyboards. Ooh, melodize. I like that Aphex Twin. Good signal. Dream in the Street, Norio Keita. Ooh, Tatsuya Yamashita arranged and written. I'll check it out. Hell yeah. Okay, we're getting a little... This is kind of like rock opera ballad. Sekari. Got the good classical music history. Man, okay, she's really ripping the pipes there. Turn that down a little bit. Ooh. We got a pretty good story here about talking about Mozart. He's a little goober. When he was young, he worked as a scribe, in the church copying music, and he wanted to, know what all the music was, and some of it was too sacred, wasn't supposed to be seen by him, and he's like, I don't care. I want to know what that is. And so he would listen to it, and he could just hear it once and then write it down. And so not only would he visually go in and just copy things to see how it was done, but he could just hear it and go write it down and be good to go. If only Aphex Twin was in the City Pop game, I would listen to that. Get Richard D. James in on this. Let's do it. Crazy vibrato, yeah. Junko has a very good vibrato. If we go back and listen to the first track with Yoshinori Monta, not as good of a vibrato by him. Hers so equal between the ranges of yeah. She's staying right on pitch, and she's oscillating within the realm of the pitch. The other guy was going, it had a jerking motion, and it makes you kind of like, whoa, kind of reminiscent of yodeling, like that kind of thing, which is not my style. All right, we're getting She's an amazing singer. There's no doubting her chops as a singer. Love. Yeah, it's cool. It was cool. You know me. I'm not super Mr. Ballad all the time ballad man. So we're gonna turn this one down a little bit while we're trying to figure out exactly which album this is from. This is Postcard Fantasy. So this is our last one from our Paul Jackson Jr. and our Carlos, and who else was on this album here? Nope, not Point Zero. Here we go. Postcard Fantasy. Yeah, Carlos Rios. Let's see, is there anybody else in here that we haven't talked about yet that we know? Talked about Abraham Laboriel. Get a nice little, okay, we got strings and drum breakdown back here. That's cool. You know. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And pause. Yeah, that cool synthesizer sounds. We got a whole bunch of cool sounds on here. Great playing, great singing. Junko Ohashi. This is why she's one of the queens. One of the best there ever was to do it. Okay, so it's 10 a.m. and we still have an entire half of an album to go. I'm going to save it for next time. We're going to do that whole album next time, or we're going to do the whole second half. And you know what? We'll see if maybe I'll come back tomorrow morning. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe we'll do Wake and Base Part 2 tomorrow. Bring it back for the weekend. But before we're done, I gotta say goodbye and then start off the next one with a little bit of Telephone. This song's just too good. This is where the Awu 56709 comes from. Almost got there. Wow. Wow. 5, 6, 7, 9. So, super cool song, super cool artist, dude. So this is, you can see in the background here, this is what we got. A little Junko Ohashi Magical, 1984. So we made it through the first half. Notable things to talk about there, absolutely, was Lost Love. Good gravy. Lost Love slapped harder than should be allowed. That was amazing. Really, the whole first, just that first track is the only one I didn't like. Yoshinori Monta. Tenchi, you want to come here and say goodbye to everybody? Tenchi? No? All right. Because he's blocking me. Hey, Bubba. Hey, Bubba. From seeing the screen. There we go. So, Tenchi wants to play. I can tell that he's ready for a little bit of dad attention time. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. You guys can tell I'm a little off today. It's been kind of a long week, and I'm a little bit tired. But you guys are phenomenal, fantastic. I'm going to turn this down because it's kind of like a speech jammer for me in the background. There we go. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. Y'all are just the absolute best. All the love and support that you guys give me in the chat and in the Discord. Just really cannot tell you how much it means to me. I just love it. Love you guys. It's such a great community. So, I think the plan will be tomorrow morning, same time, same place. We're going to do part 2 of this album. Try to do a little more research to see if I can figure out where some of these songs came from and where they're seated here. But this is just too good an album to slam through too quickly. So we'll be starting off with some Telephone tomorrow morning. But jumping back through here, making sure I said hello to everybody. Yeah, but it does get pretty wonky. Hey, woo, 63501. I never thought about that. I can do my own cover of that now. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. As always, if you're not part of the Discord, join the Discord. Totally free. It's a wonderful place to share music, make new friends. I make announcements there, all that kind of good stuff. I am behind on tab videos this week, but I'm going to be working on that today. And if I get my stuff all put together, hopefully I can stream a little bit and do some office hours and show you guys how I make the tabs and do all that kind of stuff, answer questions, help y'all with if you're working on bass or trying to play things, I can help you there. If you just want to chat, come hang out and chat, all that kind of good stuff. If you have money that you were going to throw into a trash can, do not throw it in that trash can. Direct it towards my Patreon page where you can donate a varying level of monies, and if you do the $10 donation, the Nobu Saito level, you get access to a bunch of bass teaching materials, and you can go check out all that stuff. I've got bassless backing tracks, and I've got music and follow along stuff, and I'm working on trying to put some teaching videos up there and all that kind of stuff. And if you were strapped for cash, you can go and access all of it free for 1 week, and a lot of the backing tracks you can download. So just go in there, get your 1 week free, cancel it so you don't have to spend any money, download it all. I don't care, it's fine. But, like I said, if you were throwing money in a trash can, no. That I'll take. But otherwise, thank you all so much for the love and support. You guys are fantastic. You're great. You're the best. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for part 2 of Magical, and hopefully later today to do a little bit more bassin'. Until then, I'm going to play with my cats. And y'all have a wonderful day. And I still don't know, after all this time, which one I click first. I think it's this one. But I think that's going to stop. We'll go for it.